everyone, I hope you're all keeping good. So today I am going to teach you how to do the basic stitches of Arraiolos for you to do your tapestries on crochet. So I'm using a base of crochet, it's all single stitches, and I use chunky yarn, but I use it with a 4mm hook just because I want it to be really nice and textured. So to start, you're going to take a piece of yarn and thread it into a tapestry needle like this. And the stitch is really very simple. So you always work with the needle facing you, like this. So you start by looking at your stitches, and each one of these four corners will be one stitch. So you insert your needle like this. And then, because all the work in Arraiolos is done in the front, you are going to look for the second one here, and you're going to go forward. Just like that. And then you need to do a cross, just like cross stitch. So you go back this way. And then you are going to do a forward stitch, which means that instead of going back there, you're going to go forward one stitch. So you do it like that, go forward one stitch, and then go back one and do another cross. And then you go in front, forward stitch, one to the front, and then go back one. Then you go again forward stitch and go back one. At this point, your leftover yarn is pretty secure. So you can just trim it like that. And as you can see, it leaves no loose ends and it's very neat in the back. So again, you go forward stitch and go back to do the cross. Forward stitch and go back to do the cross. And then to finish off your work, again, no loose ends, you just go inside the stitches like this, pull through, and then you trim it off. And as you can see, it's very nice, and the back, it's really nice as well. So now I can teach you to go in the other direction. So we're going to do the vertical lines, the horizontal lines, and the diagonals. So now imagine that you need to go back. So usually Arraiolos stitch is worked back and forth, back and forth. So to go back, I'll show you here on this row, you start exactly the same way, and then you hold the yarn there so that you have the loose end secure. You do the first cross, so you go forward just one stitch, come back to do the cross, and then you do a forward stitch like that, and you come back one. A forward stitch again, and you come back one. At this point you have 3 stitches. You can cut the loose end there, and again you go forward stitch and you come back one. Forward stitch and you come back one. Now you close the stitch like that, and you go under like this, and you cut the leftover yarn, and look how neat it is. And you can see in the back as well. Now, a lot of the times you also need to go up and down. So now the vertical lines are a little bit different. So you take a piece of yarn, you thread it through your needle like that. And now to go up, every time you do a line going up, the needle faces you like this. Okay, so again, you look for your little squares you can see there. You come down this way. Don't forget then you're going to have to take the ends and keep them under the stitches. So you do the cross, just like we did before. I'm sorry about that. There we go. Now you keep it there, right? And now you do another cross, but you go forward one stitch. So you go forward and then you come back and do the cross. Again, you go forward one and you come back to do the cross. Again, you go forward one and you come back to do the cross. I don't know if you can hear the weird noises there in the background. These are my two cats that decided to play as I am doing the video. So now we're going to trim this off. It's secure. And I'm just going to do a couple more stitches for you to see. So forward one, come back to do the cross. Forward one, and come back to do the cross. Forward one, and again back to do the cross. So to finish it off, we are going to finish the stitch like that and bring it under a few stitches. And again, you can just trim it off like that. And as you can see, again, really nice and neat, and the back as well. Now, when we need to go up, it's slightly different. So if you go up, you have the needle towards you. If you are going to come down the row, you are going to do the opposite. You're going to face the needle the other way. So what you do is that you start like this, right? You do the stitch next to it, finish the cross, and then you do the forward stitch. So you come forward. I'm sorry it looks a little bit awkward because I'm trying not to block with my hands. And then you come back one stitch there. And then you do a forward stitch again. And then you come back to finish the stitch. Again, it's very secure. I'm going to trim it off. And we'll do a couple more stitches. So you go forward and finish the cross. Go back one, go forward, and come back one, and then forward again, and come back one. So to finish, you do the end stitch and you just go under a few stitches like this and cut the yarn. And there, as you can see, it's slightly different. It's also very neat in the back. Now, just to finish, I would like to show you the diagonals. So those are slightly different, and we usually use them to do the drawings in the patterns. So once I do the first pattern, you will see that I'm going to be using it quite a bit. So to do a diagonal, you start the same way as we would do for a normal horizontal line. And then you finish the stitch, but in this last part, you go under the loop like this, and you're ready to go in a diagonal. So now, to look for the diagonal, you see there, you're going to go into this stitch. So you go back again, and as you do the cross, you are going to go under the loop again. So look for your diagonal. Again, do the cross and go under the loop like that. I'm going to do a last one like that. And then to finish, you just finish your stitch like that and go under to secure it. Don't be too concerned if you're just securing the stitch under one. Obviously, it's better if you have the opportunity to do it under 3 or 4, but it will be quite secure like this as well. So now I'm just going to show you the diagonal to the other side. So again, we start just like we were doing with the other line, and then as you finish your cross, you go under the loop and pull it. You look for the diagonal, do the first stitch, do the cross, and go under the loop and pull. Look for your diagonal. Again, go under the loop and pull. And just the last one there, under here on the diagonal, finish across there, go. And then I'm just going to finish off there, and I'm going to trim. So you can now cut the loose ends, and you can see the 4 techniques used in Arraiolos and how well they work also on crochet. I'm just going to show you here the back of it as well, and it's a beautiful work and you can do wonderful things. So in the next tutorial, I'm actually going to use a pattern for you to see how it turns out. So I'm planning to do this pattern next time. So please join me for the next video. And if you would like, please subscribe. And any questions, please leave them in the comments below. Thank you.